2 homers and a realist. This is the start of when things get serious.
The hands?
Oh, the hands, baby, the hands. We got OU Alabama.
9 3/4.
Yep. We got OU Alabama this week. And so if we can, see how big my hand is? If we can win this game, everything is in front of us. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. I'm Steve.
Jay. Lucas.
So
we're missing somebody?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We got kind of a
sounds about right
here.
this year.
Yeah. So Connor's on location. He's doing some recruiting, some deep dives. He let us know yesterday that there was a chance that there was a flip from Penn State, and sure enough, we just got the update just now. At what time is it? Like 9 o'clock. So there's a recruiting flip in the running back room.
Well, it's a prediction.
The prediction on all three. Yeah, it's meaningful.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
That's a good sign. A lot of good things coming. So right now, OU pretty much controls their own destiny, even if they don't technically control their own destiny in the SEC. We're talking about that a little bit before we started.
Pretty sure,
but
they control their own destiny for the playoff.
It's got to be a
definitely
high
playoffs.
percentage.
So 10-2, you're in.
And yeah, oh no, I don't. I mean, it's got to be 99.999 that OU is in with this resume at 10-2.
Oh yeah.
And I have to think there's a lot of scenarios where we may not control our own destiny, but if we can win out, then our path to the SEC title game is maybe a 25% shot at it, maybe better.
Yeah, a bunch of tiebreakers.
Yeah, a bunch of tiebreakers. Well, either tiebreakers or upsets that we would need to have happen.
Yeah.
But we need a lot more help there than we need to get into the playoff in both cases.
Yeah, because we have 2 conference losses.
Yeah.
A&M has 0. So they would have to lose 2 of their games,
right,
just to be in a tiebreaker scenario.
And we might have a tiebreaker loss to
Bama
Texas that we have to worry about.
Bama has 0.
Yeah. But they'd have 1 in that scenario.
Georgia has 1.
Yeah. So we'd need help,
yeah,
but we could get there. More importantly, the big picture, the playoff, it's definitely in front of it for OU. And that's even if they lose to Bama and look good. I don't think they can go out and lay an egg. I think if we go out and lay an egg, it's going to be real easy for the committee to say in a field where it's kind of tough and we're having to make tough decisions, that makes my decision a little easier to not go with OU. So we need to be competitive.
That would put us right on the cusp of just missing out.
I think we're going to be competitive. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it'll be a very competitive game.
The line makers are moving it in OU's favor, so the money's rolling in for whatever reason in OU's favor. I think that if you look at the fact they're one-dimensional on offense, that lends itself to at least an opportunity for a very good defense, a great defense like OU plays, to be able to position themselves to succeed. Doesn't have to work out that way, but if you get if you're effective in doing everything you need to do to contain the run with minimal amount of players, and then you can defend the pass, get pressure on the quarterback, you start to turn the game in your favor really quickly. That may lead to turnovers, which may be necessary.
He's only thrown 1 interception all season, which means he's careful with the ball.
Right.
Because since they can't run the ball very well, they're having to throw more. And I mean, 1 interception at this point of the season, that's huge.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But it could come back to haunt him. Because if he's in a game where he needs to sling the ball, we've seen it from our perspective. You could get into trouble where you're not producing when you need to produce. And
I mean,
that'd be
Tennessee happened
great
the first half
if
of the
he's like
Tennessee
that.
game.
Yeah.
He got the pressure. We got the sack fumble for a touchdown, and then he threw 2 bad picks later.
Yeah.
But seeing the injury report, R. Mason Thomas and Jaden Jackson are both questionable. That's scary, even though we have great depth there.
Questionable on a Wednesday.
That's our 2 best. I mean, Jaden Jackson and David Stone are probably 1A, 1B right now at defensive tackle, and they're both really good at stopping the run.
Yeah.
Stone gets a little more pressure, I feel like.
Yeah, Jaden Jackson's
but having
2 guys.
R. Mason Thomas, he can do incredible things at any time. I mean, he's good for at least 2 really good plays a game that can disrupt either, what we saw, picking up the fumble and running back for touchdown, or the Auburn safety. I mean, it's just been
so many
on the
things.
closer because
plus
at the end of the game, he's finishing things.
How much havoc that isn't on a stat sheet.
Yeah.
Well, the psychological factor, both sides of the ball. So when they look over and they see him coming, that's scary.
Yeah.
And when you're a teammate and you know he's out there to help you, that's got to give you some confidence. Now at the same time, maybe it means, especially in practice, I got to work harder. I got to, because my guy's not there. I got to do more.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it's the two best players in defense.
Yeah, you could. I mean, I've been impressed with Taylor Wine, obviously, coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And
I-
PJ seems like he's on a good path.
Yeah.
He's not all the way there yet, but he has made steady progression this season. And Marvin Jones Jr., for not being real heralded coming in, I mean, he was coming out of high school going to Florida State, but making the transfer this year, it wasn't a guy that everybody's like, oh, we got Marvin Jones Jr.
Right.
Essentially, he's the backup for our Mason Thomas. Let's see what he can do. And he doesn't have the numbers to show that he's had a great season, but I can think of lots of plays that he's made a difference, especially with the ball carrier trying to get around the edge and forcing them back in and keeping quarterbacks in the pocket for somebody else to go tackle.
Right.
He's done a good job of setting the edge. That's one of those stats that, you know, it doesn't come out on paper, but when you watch the film, he's doing his job.
Yeah, the whole line's been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just work so good as a group.
Changing the composition of the entire game, play by play. Kendall Daniels been very, very strong.
He's been better than I thought he would be after, you know, seeing the clips of him loafing at Oklahoma State towards the end of last year when they were completely out of it, and he just looked like he didn't want to be there. That's not the kind of guy that Brent normally brings in. And when he made the transition, you thought, well, maybe Brent saw enough good film that he thinks he can motivate him, and it looks like he has because he's been all over the field and in a position that we were all expecting Dolby to come back and be the man at Cheetah. Now you've got Kendall Daniels and then spelling him with Reggie Powers. But I've been really happy with what Kendall Daniels has looked like this year.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think so. You know, guys like that, sometimes you got to cut them some slack because they're in a losing effort. They're just it's all in vain. What am I doing out here? And you know, what is the risk I'm running if I go out and give 110%? So
is that a real math number?
It's not a real number. I don't like it when people, that's why I said it that way. I don't like it when people say give 110%.
Yeah.
But it
why
could
is it a number then, Steve?
because dumb people use it.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you can have 110% and return on investment.
Well, yeah, that's growth. That's growth. That's different. And that's also highly theoretical. Past performance does not indicate future results.
I'm sure there's some such and such table for this or some guy's theorem or something like when you break off. Oh, this is Johnson's theory of relativity squared.
Johnson's theory of 110%.
You always have some random.
Trust me, honey. This is Johnson's theory. So let's talk about offense a little bit and what the offense needs to do. So we haven't really put together, I would say, a complete offensive game all year. I don't know if you guys would disagree.
No.
If we put together a complete offensive game, and I don't mean a stellar offensive game, but a complete game where you're running the ball effectively, you're passing the ball effectively.
Third downs are good.
Decision making's good.
I would say
I don't think we could get beat.
The Michigan game
was closest.
Was that because Mateer got so many yards, but we didn't get much production from running backs.
Right. So marry that up with the second half against Tennessee, and that's a complete offense and an effective offense.
For a half.
Yeah. That should be able to win. I mean, I think that if we knew we were going to play like that, we might be the favorite in this game with as good as our defense is. It's just a matter of can we actually produce and perform at that high level?
I mean, if we play A+ on offense and defense, and you play every other team in the country, and they have their A+, there's probably about 3 or 4 teams that can beat you.
Right, could beat you.
Yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily beat you.
Well, I'm saying if they were A+ against our A+.
Yeah,
there's 3 or 4 teams that
like Tulsa's A+ is not going to beat 11 teams.
But Ohio State, maybe A&M. I don't think Indiana's A+ beats us.
No.
Texas's probably does.
Maybe.
I don't think their defense isn't as good as ours, but their offense has a better ceiling than ours does. So I mean, there's a couple teams. Georgia,
or maybe Oregon.
Well, I don't think you're more than a 3 or 4 point dog in any of those contests either.
I mean, we're 5.5 points at Alabama,
but we're not A+. given
Well,
the A+,
but
A+.
that's what they're gambling on.
I don't think so.
Is the
No.
two teams play their best performance,
That's not what they're doing.
and Bama's 5.5
No.
points better than OU.
No, it's definitely not how they look at it. It's definitely not it. They're looking at the average performance and what
Yeah.
they expect. And we can't come out and be average for us. We could on defense maybe, but offense would have to be A++.
But if you'd have picked, any week in the last 10 years and said, "Hey, you're playing at Bama,
Yeah.
point spread's 5.5," you'd be like, "Really?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That's pretty
that's
strong.
interesting.
Yeah.
At points in the season, we would have found that remarkable. At other points in the season, we would have, well, after the Florida State game, we were like, how are we underdogs?
Yeah.
But the season, a lot, happens during the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know, overall feel for going into an environment like that. We just played in a really tough environment. How much more difficult could it be?
I mean,
I don't think it'll be any.
from everything I've heard, Bama's not Tennessee
Mm-mm.
in environment.
And it's daytime.
It's daytime. They just played a night game against LSU. The crowd seemed good, but it didn't seem amazing.
Right.
Some people slept through that game, but other people watched the whole thing and
Took notes.
Some people on vacation.
I mean, I was on vacation too. I think that first Bama drive, I was like, crap, they're going to destroy us. And then LSU, tweaked what they were doing, and next thing you know, Bama's barely doing anything for 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me hope in
That's
this
saying
game
something,
because
yeah.
if you'd asked me after Bama's first drive what the score would be, I would say even with our defense, they're going to score 40 because they just marched right down the field like it was nothing. And knowing that our offense has been spotty at best, I was just worried that they'd have too many more possessions than us.
Right.
And if they just
And they can expose you,
they just-
especially deep.
yeah, if they just converted on that, on if they get an extra 3 possessions from us because our offense sucks and they convert on one of those, well, then they're not approaching blowout, but they're looking at double-digit victory.
It'll be interesting to see what Arbuckle is allowed to do, what kind of game he's going to call, because we weren't running the football. So then we go to South Carolina and we're like, okay, but let's start pounding the rock. Then we don't do it against Ole Miss till late, and then we don't do it enough.
And with
we don't
strange
keep doing
personnel
it.
decisions. Yeah.
X gets 9 carries or something.
Right.
And then you go back to Tennessee and all of a sudden it's kind of the same thing. We ran it a whole lot better than we have been, but it's just where was this decision making on this play calling and what we want to do.
Do you think
I think it really helps Mateer a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a typical normal thing that help quarterbacks by having a run game, but so it's not rocket science. We don't seem to ever want to establish it.
Do you think that is him overthinking it, getting ahead of himself, second guessing himself? Arbuckle?
No, I think he's learning like Riley had to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. In a more advanced league.
I was in a different group chat yesterday talking about this.
Whoa. You
Yeah.
have other group
I
chats?
do. Just one.
He's cheating on us.
That's messed up, dude.
Oh, just one. Like that makes it right.
They're younger than you guys.
Of course they are. They always are. She sounds hideous.
Yeah, but they were talking about the run game and they weren't sure like what Arbuckle did at Washington State, and I said, well, Mateer was the leading rusher,
Yeah, that's something.
and so that was we all just assumed, well, maybe they didn't have a good enough running back, or Mateer was just that good running it. In reality, he probably had Mateer run too much,
Right.
and it's happened this year. I'm surprised it hasn't been reined in more
Right.
by the other coaches on staff. Like you would think Venables would be like, let's go. We got to get this thing going. Or it could be, the new infusion on the line has just helped our run game.
I mean, you get deep into the season. Beatonbow has a history of that, and all of a sudden he kind of figures some stuff out.
I mean, once Foje and EPL got in there, he's been running the football.
Yeah. And I'll take it.
Yeah.
And they're on different sides of the line.
I'm not going to complain. You got a line that's working pretty effectively. And that's all we really ask for at this point. Now, in the future, our expectations will be higher and demands will be higher. If we got into the playoff and wanted to advance in the playoff, your demands would probably be higher. or you're not going to get there. Then again, you can get there with just an effective. I mean, you can be like the Baltimore Ravens years ago, winning the Super Bowl. And
with Trent Dilfer.
yeah,
I'm gonna suspect too that Arbuckle is probably a little surprised that the passing game's not been better.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's got to feel that way. And I've got to think that he sees the field in a way that Mateer hasn't, and he knows the plays. He sees who's open, and he's like, "Why isn't he doing it? What's going on? What's not working here?" Hopefully, they can figure that out and have. I mean, it seemed better in the second half, and the running game was better. Is that all it takes? I don't know.
There was another play watching some different clips back on the Tennessee game. I think it was pretty late in the fourth quarter. Mateer stepped up into the pocket and looked around and saw he didn't have anybody, so looked like he picked up like 10 or 12 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But as he was making that decision, somebody came on a post. It had been a 40-yard just
dink
simple
got
to
it.
somebody. And it's like,
Mateer does not have 40-yard simple at all because he's not done it at all this year.
but I'm just saying, like, but the guy was there.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
he took the 12 yards or something and got a
Sure,
first,
which is
It was
good.
still a good play,
Yeah.
but it was like, ooh, other people
At
that are
the
more
next
seasoned
level,
see that.
yeah.
Well, it's like the 77-yard Sustainia when he followed him across the entire field, and meanwhile, Canic's out there 35 yards wide
Yeah.
open with
Hi,
nobody
I'm over here.
waving,
Hello.
and he dumped it down and ended up getting in a great play.
Yeah.
He scored a touchdown, but
But
it's those misses that you're like, man, the right play was to go to Canic.
yep. It'd be fun, interesting to look back at. Again, it's an unfair comparison, but Baker and you wouldn't get it with Kyler, but others who had early playing days to see if they're making those same kind of mistakes. Any player that's like Mateer, Baker's like Mateer, or Mateer's like Baker in that he scrambles a lot, uses his feet, buys time, seems to improvise. I have to imagine we're getting attacked by squirrels. I have to imagine that Mateer is in that same early stage where he's not seeing the whole field steal and those improvisations. But as he gets better, then all of a sudden, hopefully, if he gets better, those will start to materialize for him. And when it does, next year, this could be, it could materialize. I like that. Very good. Yeah, that could be strong.
That could be on a shirt.
Oh, I like it. Let's do it. Copyright, trademark. That's ours. So I want to talk about recruiting in a second, but first let's circle back to OU's future in the near term in the rest of this season. So I ran a poll. How many more wins will OU have through the postseason? And the choices were less than 2, 2 to 3, 4, or greater than 4. How'd you guys vote? I think
2
I
to
know
3.
2 to 3? 2 to 3? I said I can't
4.
remember.
You said 4.
I think I said 4, but I had to give it some thought. But it's because there's a lot of paths to get a lot of games.
Not necessarily. I mean, if you only win,
I mean, we're gonna have 4 games for sure.
if you win 2 of the next 3, you're
right,
the playoff chances are lower. So then you're only going to get one more game.
right.
So then you only have the chance of winning 3 games.
But if you win them
that's
all,
why I went with that vote.
yeah,
First round of the playoffs could be game 6.
right, exactly.
You make the SEC championship game.
If you make,
stuff like that.
well, no,
Yeah.
it'd be
The game
3,
5.
4, 5.
There's
It'd
3
be game
games
5.
left. SEC would be 4.
And you
First
get the
round
bye
5.
if you won
But you don't have to win
in
it.
that scenario. Right. You could lose and you could, and then you could host. And so the plurality was 4, 38%. Then
Wow.
real close, 2 to 3 was 25%. Greater than 4 was 24%. Less than 2 was 13%. I don't
Sounds like there's some homers out
Greater
there.
than 4?
greater than 4, baby.
Sounds like there's some homers.
Some people
out there.
think we're gonna win the title.
Well, we'd have to win all 3 and then the first playoff game to get 4.
4. And well, if you won all
I still
3,
don't think you're getting I think it's
No,
the
that
scenario of
might be
making the
when-
SEC title game
that might be when
is super hard.
10 and 2. I don't think it's
No, I'm
that
saying
hard.
no, making the SEC title.
Right, I don't think
Yes,
it's that
your
hard.
fourth game would
Oh, I
be
think it is.
your fourth game would be hosting a playoff game.
In which case, that's almost a guaranteed win.
I mean, at this point,
No
A&M
way.
would have
It's
to
a
lose 2
guaranteed-
games,
No,
and
it's
Bama,
going to be against South Florida.
Bama would have to lose to another team other than us, and A&M would have to lose 2
No, it's
to
not.
knock
You
both
could
of
be-
them out.
You'd be 8 playing 9.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I'm exaggerating, but you greater than 4 is tough. Greater than
Yeah.
4 isn't crazy, but greater than 4 is tough.
Hmm.
To predict that is a bold move, Cotton. That's pretty strong. I can't remember. I'd have to look. I either picked 2 to 3 or 4.
You definitely picked the
If I'm on the, I don't know what, because if I'm on the 2 to 3, I'm on the 3, not the 2. The less than 2, I don't understand. Like that's a real
Yeah, that
pessimistic
one.
take.
Yeah, that is pessimistic.
That's a really
because
they're
Missouri
gonna be strong favorites in
back
those
and
two
they're not
games.
looking great, and LSU is a complete dumpster fire currently. Now
Mhm.
they could step up and just have an amazing game. It's been known to happen,
Mm-hmm.
especially under Brent Venables in home games because his record sucks. But
And your bowl matchup could be
and
a
your bowl
nobody.
matchup could well, your bowl matchup could be tough. Who knows?
It could be
Yeah,
tough.
or
It could be
nobody.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
nobody.
yeah, 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 yeah. It
That's
could be
I did
could be
too.
a nobody. Yeah, I don't
Because I think we win the last two.
I don't see the negative
and
less than 2. I don't get it.
yeah,
That's not happening.
that's
I picked 4. I looked. I
I
picked
know.
4, and that's a good
I
pick.
went on a limb.
Yeah, and
Like these
I
squirrels.
underestimated it. So when we look out at the future, though, I think that here's how optimistic I am. I worry about a scenario where we beat Bama and we have a little bit of a
down
crap game and a down game in our preparation and
Oh, I'm very
everything.
worried about the Missouri game.
You have to be. You have to be.
If we lose to Bama, I mean, if
Either,
we beat Bama,
either way, I'm worried
in
about
general.
the Missouri game. Yeah.
I mean, in one sense, you shouldn't be because if we are good enough to beat Alabama, then we're that much better.
I
But
mean,
at the
Jack's
same time,
solid
psychologically,
team.
Jackson
they are.
fumbling it away. We should have beaten Missouri last
Yes.
year.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
solid
On the
though.
road.
We did everything we
with a
could
way
to
worse
lose that
offense.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a better defense this year, and
And they have probably a weaker
and a
offense.
better offense.
Yeah, but
even though not by a ton, because this offense
And their
good.
offense is worse.
Yeah, but if you go off
And
that, then
their team is worse.
Yeah,
then
and their team is
you
worse.
should, you know, sell the house and put on OU this weekend
Why this weekend?
because they beat
Because
the
we
crap
beat
out of
them.
Bama last year.
Yeah, they're a different team this year.
Just
Their quarterback's better.
throw away.
I like it. Let's bet the house. Let's do it.
Bet your house. Oh,
I could see this game going that way. I honestly could. If
That
we,
would be the letdown worry. If we were to thump Bama,
yeah,
that's
then you
That's
really got
really
it. It's going to
scary.
be that's where Brent earns his money, keeping everyone focused on what is in front of them, because then everything really
Yeah.
is in front of you.
and that's like
If you
scary.
win, what was the score last year?
29 to 3.
3, something
10? Did they
stupid.
get a late one?
What at 21-3?
No, it's 20.
Where's the stat guy?
Yeah, where's
that
that
guy?
guy?
27-3? 29?
If we won that big, we're going to catapult. What do you think? 7th, 6th?
Man,
That'd be a big
you've
surge.
got to be the highest ranked 2-loss team for sure,
Uh-huh.
and probably past some of the ones.
Yeah. If we get beat
24-3.
24 to 3. Okay, that sounds right. That's a heck of a
Oklahoma
win.
guns Alabama 24-3 to reach bowl eligibility.
If you get beat like that, which I think there is a possibility, because they could score 24 points on our defense and our offense could be so inept we can't get but a field goal, then you're basically out of the playoffs. I would imagine.
You're done.
And
Then you're worried about the last two games.
you are worried about
In
that.
general,
You're worried about a
because-
lot of stuff.
Yeah,
It kind of starts to unravel
they're
everything
not
that's
good
built
enough to
up.
hold you to 3. To hold people 3.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What did you
I
do?
mean, they're just not so dominant.
What did you do to mess up that bad? But I think that's a very unlikely scenario. I think, we'll get our scores later. I think the likely scenario is a pretty close game with, high score in the 20s, 30s, somewhere in there.
When you look at the preseason schedule and you see, at Tennessee, at Alabama, at first you're like, "Oh, man, this stretch, this run is daunting," but it is super helpful that we went
Mhm.
into Tennessee at nighttime.
Yeah.
And then have a bye.
Yeah.
And get ready for Bama.
It is.
That is extremely beneficial.
It worked. In that sense, it's working out the way you'd love it to.
There should be no environmental advantage that
Mhm.
we're not prepared for.
And can say we've done it. Like there's nothing to be afraid
And
of.
it wasn't like early in the season.
Right.
Not like we went to Michigan 6 weeks ago.
Right.
The crowd's not going to affect
Right.
us. This was like the last game
Yep.
we played.
Right.
So our communication, our signals, our just the environment in general, the nerves shouldn't really be that affected.
I'll contrast that with some things when you look out at the landscape of the top 25 and top 12 in particular. Some things that stand out to me, and last week we saw a little bit of this. We had the prop bet of the week, and that was how many top 10 losses there were going to be. And I took the over. Everyone else took the under. It was the under of 2.5. It was really close to being the over.
Indiana should have lost.
Indiana should have lost.
Oregon should have lost.
Oregon should have lost. So there's two right there, and two top teams, or definitely one of them a top team. But as we look at it, and you look at their strength of schedule, there's a lot of question marks in the Big Ten in particular. So I looked at Ohio State's strength of schedule. They're below Indiana, and Indiana is not strong. So you look at who they played, and I mean, they're tough.
Which is really bad because they have Texas on their schedule.
Exactly. And so you start to look at those schedules and start to look at what their body of work has really been.
Oregon's
and
got
like,
nobody.
How impressed can I actually be about all of this?
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of back when
Oregon just had their best win.
What year was it? 2003? What year was it with Jason White? Was it with Jason White where we just rolled through the schedule? That was 60 plus.
04.
In 04.
No,
and
60 plus was the 08.
Was 08, that's right, yeah.
But the 04 season,
yes,
where we played USC,
yeah,
we really didn't get challenged.
We didn't get challenged. And we were kind of I mean, I think we were a very good team.
Texas score
and I think they cheated and they stole our plays. All that aside, we were sort of a little bit of fool's gold or fooling ourselves because we had not been challenged. And I see some of these teams in the Big Ten, and it's the same story. And it kind of disgusts me or frustrates me because I look at all of these conferences, and I don't think they're top teams. I think their top teams in some cases might have a chance at vying for the top position in the SEC. Might, and in some cases they'd be tough. Like Texas Tech, if we're going to call them the top team in the Big 12 right now, where would they be in the SEC? Where do you guys think they would be? A full SEC schedule, top 4 or 5?
I mean, with the SEC schedule, they would probably finish
losses.
like 9-3, 8-4.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
right, and struggle.
Yeah,
and have some some big difficulties. So I don't know. These, I've been on the last year. I was Indiana's not that good. This year, I think they're kind of for real. And all of a sudden, they do what they did last week, and I'm like, I don't think these guys are that good. It's just hard to say. And when you're looking at the SEC and you're seeing this back and forth, it's a little different because it's like, oh, I don't know how good they are, but they're real damn good, and every game's real competitive. It's kind of like really close at the top versus really close in the middle. And everyone who looks really close kind of in the mediocre category to me with these other conferences. Maybe I'm just now, and it means more SEC bias.
I mean, I think A&M's been to me, the biggest surprise in college football this year has been A&M.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Indiana
I don't know
continue,
the schedule.
Also not a tough schedule.
Continuing to do what they did for Indiana has been impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But
agreed.
I mean, the big challenge they had was they went to Oregon and won,
which is looking less and less great.
Indiana Illinois was like a big time matchup in like third game of the season, whatever, and they beat them by 50.
Which was
Illinois
surprised because Illinois was
Illinois was overrated, obviously, at that point.
Yeah.
But A&M is, I mean, they beat Notre Dame. Did they beat Vanderbilt?
I think I sent this tweet to you. It was not.
You did.
Oh yeah, here it is right here. So Texas A&M, four of the SEC schools that they played have fired the head coaches. They played all four. This was, what day was this? Was the 8th? Was that have been Saturday? This is before their game, I think.
Yeah. 8th was Saturday.
So that day they were playing a third string true freshman quarterback because Missouri's their third string quarterback from Missouri. Next week's opponent, which would be this week, they're 1-6 in SEC play and fired their offensive coordinator and offensive line coach in South Carolina. So I mean, A&M also does not have any type of a schedule.
Yeah,
they've played the really good middle.
Yeah,
I mean, they went to Notre Dame and won.
Yeah.
And
which
Notre Dame
Notre
Dame's a good team.
Yeah,
they're not great. They're not as. I think I picked them to win the national championship on our.
It's a good win,
if I remember right. But it was because I looked at the schedule and only saw like one loss.
Right, and they've managed
two,
and one of them's looking really bad.
A&M's doing
and they're playing Pitt tonight.
What Missouri did last
Saturday day.
They start at noon. We'll be 2 hours into that game. If Pitt can come through for us, man, we might kick off
knocking Notre Dame out.
Alabama.
Would be beneficial to a 9-3 SEC team.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants Notre Dame knocked out.
Everybody wants them knocked out. Well, the halls of justice want them knocked out because they don't deserve it with what they've done. I'm here to tell you Notre Dame might be a good enough team to be a playoff team.
Oh yeah,
The
if we're
unfortunate,
hosting,
They could win a playoff game.
but what's
they're not
unfortunate,
gonna win a
but why they don't deserve it is, and what's unfortunate for everyone else who might get knocked out by them is they haven't earned it.
They're not in the conference.
They haven't. They're not in the
Their
conference.
only
Their
top
schedule's
25
weak.
win is USC. The other two top 25 teams they played, they lost. So,
And one of them is not looking
which
good.
was
yeah,
Miami.
USC hopefully is not even ranked by the
Yeah.
time Notre Dame gets there. I mean,
Yeah.
the committee might be sitting around feeling like, oh, you didn't beat a ranked opponent this year.
Right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully they should. I mean, it's a little frustrating. You really got to worry that they are looking at ratings and thinking, how do I leave a Notre Dame out? How do I do it?
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
hard.
It
is
is
hard to leave Notre Dame out.
It's
I mean,
frustrating.
an OU first round home game with
Oh.
Notre Dame is, I mean,
I
that's
mean,
about
can
as
you
big as
imagine
it
favorite
is.
team against the second favorite team?
Wow.
Oh my god.
But no, really, ratings wise though, that I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wouldn't get any.
Yeah, that would be a colossally good matchup. How about an OU Texas matchup, either here or in Austin?
In Austin
my
would be
God, that
well,
would
either
be
way would be
awful.
insane.
That would be so insane.
In Austin,
It makes
What do
you
you think
wonder
the
what the
tickets would-
committee would do
Mm-hmm.
to have that
not
happen,
happen or happen.
to have it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because just for that aspect,
What do you think that?
I mean,
would you
for
go
the-
to Austin?
What do you think an OU Texas?
Yes.
What do you think an OU
Yes.
ticket would be?
Oh, hard yes.
What do you
That'd be
think it would be?
crazy.
What?
What do you think a ticket would be?
Oh,
$800?
that'd be a lot of money. It'd be a lot of money. You'd want to put it into
$1,200?
the university.
When's the so outside of the
Oh my
Cotton
God.
Bowl, when if OU Texas ever played at each other's homes?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So it was
before
like
1929
or something.
No,
No.
Yeah,
before
so 100 years.
1929. Yeah, it's like
Before
100 years.
Hmm.
I believe it's 29 is when it
Yeah,
started in the
those
Cotton
tickets
Bowl.
would be.
It would be
It could.
so insane.
You could really just pick whatever number you wanted because
So insane.
every person that has any type of money whatsoever would buy it just
Yeah.
just to say they were there.
Oh, I mean that's incredible. That's
What would the
incredible.
ticket situation be? It'd be like 15,000 away fans and then 80,000 home fans, like
Or 70.
because that holds over 90.
Oh,
now,
you
doesn't
mean
it?
here or
No, I
down
mean
there?
there.
Doesn't it hold more than that? I think isn't it?
Is it close to 100?
I
I
don't
think
think
it's close to
It's
100,
in
isn't
the
it?
90s.
I think it was like 95
guy.
or something.
What is it?
So
And 95
could
ish?
you
Yeah.
have like 70 and 25, or would it be 80 and
Well,
15?
Well, if they got rid of the fallopian tubes and everything,
Yeah, they have
fit
more
seats.
There's a lot of people with money and with interest that would go down there from here. The reverse would be they'd be bidding up the ticket prices to come here. Huge. And they're just bigger. So
Especially because they'd be confident. Just
Right.
Texas fans. Period.
right. Yeah, Texas confidence over.
God, I can't imagine walking over here on Campus Corner and there just being burnt
Longhorns.
orange
There'd have to
everywhere.
be so much
That'd
more
be so
security than normal
disgusting.
and everything too. It'd be
Oh,
wild.
yeah.
It would be
Yeah,
wild.
it would be disgusting.
It would be
I don't.
phenomenal.
We'd have to put a muzzle.
Never
on,
before
It'd be
seen.
phenomenal.
so so he couldn't drink.
And
he couldn't talk crap.
and
Texas fans get thrown off the upper deck.
as long
like their football.
and as long as you were in the game, the stadium would be the loudest we've ever heard.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. It'd be so cool.
I don't know. Thinking about. I don't
It'd be so cool. It'd
I
be
don't
so
even-
scary.
posit that.
It'd be
It would
so
be so scary. That'd be a terrible one to lose.
Oh,
Terrible.
I do not want to lose that
No,
game.
yeah, you
Oh
gotta
my
be
God.
in it.
You got to go into confident. Hey, Sooners only fear God. Texas fears over.
You know, it'd be a trivia question 75 years from now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
How amazing was that game? And it was more amazing than you can imagine.
Hmm.
Well, let's transition a little bit and let's talk about recruiting. OU seems to be doing really well in recruiting. I think the news we hear is very positive. We were talking before about how it appears to be the case, and hopefully this is going to work. Well, you know, the indications are good, but the proof will be in years to come that you've got a front office that is working nonstop on the recruiting front, from the transfer portal down to the high school level, figuring out who are the right targets, and then bringing that curated to the coaches for them to review, which to me is just an awesome model because we're talking about a critical, not must win, but a critical, very important late November or mid-November game with Alabama. You don't want distractions. You don't want those coaches to have their focus turned away from preparation to be doing the raw grunt work and then everything else in terms of recruiting. If you can outsource that to your front office, which it seems like they're doing, then you can really focus on the game and just fly in for the high critical phone call or whatever it takes to touch base with a recruit, somebody you're interested in, then come back to the game plan, and someone else is taking that and just hand holding it all the way through.
Yeah, it's got to be the hours of film that you're just not wasting your time on.
Yeah.
Well, we have good news, bad news with recruiting on the offensive side of the ball. Good news is earlier this season, we were worried about Arbuckle taking another job.
That ain't happening.
And, even if it was like I don't know, Memphis or North Texas or one of those kind of jobs, now I don't think that's a possibility at all because
Surely he
he's
wouldn't
had a
even want to do that.
lackluster season, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then, but the bad news is what are the recruits seeing watching this offense? They really want to go play for.
I think that's an easy sell.
I think so too. I think kids could get, I mean, even if they're getting snowed over, I don't think that's hard to convince them that, oh, no, trust me, we got everything going in the right direction. And you,
I mean, if
you
I'm
are the
getting
key.
recruited by Lincoln Riley or Arbuckle,
Sure.
I'm going to play USC all
Yeah,
day.
but Lincoln had the same problem.
Or
Yeah,
Sark.
he's even having the problem.
I mean, if Sark's saying, "Hey,
his
you come
recruiting's
here,
not closing.
you come here and play running back or wide receiver, or you can go to OU," I'm probably picking Texas at that point
Yeah, but
because their
but
offense.
I don't know.
Texas offense isn't any better than ours,
I bet the numbers say different.
but they're not.
Okay.
Look them up. Look them up. I bet they're not that too terribly
Yeah,
different.
they can't.
I mean,
I mean, we were like 75 the other day.
I'm
You
sure
don't
they
think
are.
Texas is like 60 or
That's
55?
not that much better. That's probably 20 yards.
Still better.
I don't think.
Look up scoring offense. I bet Texas scoring offense is better than ours by 10 points.
I don't know if any of that's enough to sway a recruit. Like everybody's in the game, and I think that we can sell the story that we are ascendant and getting better, whereas Texas has had that year already to be ahead of us, and yet look at us, we're right neck and neck with them. That
I mean, as a defensive recruit, I'm playing for Brent Venables over probably anybody in the
Sure.
country.
but that's
The only guy that can compete would be Kirby and maybe Dan Lanning.
right.
But outside of that,
Agreed.
I mean, Brent's the guy. But
Agreed.
offensively,
So if
there's 10 other schools I would go to before OU on offense.
but there's more than 10 times the number of players on those teams to choose from. It's not like we only have 15 players and it's us versus Lincoln Riley to get them. Not that Lincoln Riley's landing every recruit that he gets.
I mean, it's shocking that Branch left USC to go to Georgia,
It is.
where he's having a great season.
Yeah.
But overall team is way better at Georgia than USC.
Right.
So I can understand that. But when you're on a level playing field as an offensive player, you can go to Georgia.
All right, ready?
Yep, let's go.
Oklahoma is 64th at 28.9, and Texas is 60th at 29.6.
Pretty close.
So they're
Less
higher,
than a point.
so they're higher than us.
Less than a point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not meaningful.
And I'm gonna guess that our schedules at best are
Oh, our schedule's harder
hard.
than
Yeah.
theirs.
And then
Definitely.
so that was scoring offense, obviously.
Yeah.
Let's look at total offense. Talk amongst yourselves.
I mean, obviously we are not where we want to be on offense, but I don't think we're not in the game. We're landing recruits.
Well, as an offensive coordinator, Sark is better than Arbuckle.
Yeah, he's had more time.
yeah, right now he is. That doesn't mean you necessarily go there versus here. I mean, Texas Tech is
I'm
landing
just bringing
recruits.
that up on my good point, bad point.
All right, so again,
We thought Arbuckle could be gone, and I don't think he is.
it's the same boat. So
I hear you.
Texas is 72nd at 381.4, and we're 78th at 373. So they got 10 yards a game and less than 1 point again.
Gotcha.
You called.
So but they're just not some
Yeah, there's not some big gap.
magical.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, pick your moments, and that's where
they've
think.
got to be upset with that too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you had the preseason #1 greatest quarterback in history of all time,
Right.
right.
and you're
Yeah.
72nd off.
Right,
So
they had already like redone the Heisman to look like his face with glasses on from Warby
Does he have a
Parker.
5-head like his Uncle Peyton?
a little bit.
I think he does.
So
It's a Manning family tradition.
when you look at recruiting, the real key is you got to go find the guys that you really want. And that's what I think we're doing with Nagy. That's been the selling point, the Moneyball approach of we're going to be more intelligent about this. And we're going to go after guys that we can get that fit into our system. You're definitely going to miss out on some guys that for whatever reason don't match up well with you or choose against you. The key is not that you miss them, but that you don't spend resources on them. That you go find the guys that you are a good fit for, and you win those battles more often than you lose.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many players they actually do bring to each coach. I bet it's 30, 40 at most.
At most.
And then
Depends on the coach.
And then from those 30 or 40, then that's the film that you do have to look at. You're not
Right.
scouring through the 300 of them.
Right.
So, so they're taking 80% of the
And hopefully looking
scouting
at
out of it.
everything, not just
And they've got analysts and grad assistants that do that stuff too,
right.
besides just
But I
nagging.
mean,
Yeah, no.
ultimately, I still
staff.
think the coaches themselves
Want to see it.
are picking out of these players,
Right.
and the front office feels okay with that.
Right.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
there-
we brought
Prince
you.
is on the sideline of like a Friday night game in Oklahoma to go
Yeah,
check out guys.
but I think that's more like,
they're going to see.
but
Bixby and
that's
stuff like that.
more of the prestige of he came to see you.
Yeah,
And that's after it's been curated to say, here's a guy worth your time to go see versus a flyer where you're like, you show up and you go, all right, what are we doing here? And we should have not been here. So hopefully it's productive time in all of those cases. And hopefully they're looking at everything like, all right, let's investigate if this guy's going to fit into our culture. If this guy is somebody that's going to buy into what we're doing, is he, to the degree we can question him and others, let's find out if he's interested.
I mean, to a detriment, there's a chance that they're overdoing that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And they could look at some things and over-index on some factors that they need to dial down. And all of a sudden they, false positives and false negatives. So it could go in both cases.
and somebody's doing that transfer portal wise too, instead of just high school players, where
Exactly.
That's where
they're looking at LSU lost their coach.
Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
depending on who they bring in, if they bring in an offensive guy, we can go up to some of their defensive guys,
Mhm.
or vice versa. And,
Right.
I mean, Florida, LSU, they've
there's
got
so many
athletes.
these teams.
I mean, we've already done it with Penn State
It's going to be.
with high school
yep.
kids. So the next move is
It could be
go after
wild. It could
players.
be wild to see how bad these teams get picked apart.
Depending on who they get. Even if they get a guy like Elko wasn't a big hire, but that was the kind of guy that is not the sensational hire that hangs on to a bunch of
Someone like
folks.
someone who overvalues themselves but might not end up with a coach that's nationally going to be acceptable to a lot of players is like an Auburn.
Right.
Auburn's got enough really good football players.
Oh yeah.
That if they don't get an exciting guy,
I mean, Coleman should definitely
Cam-
be looking to go
yeah,
somewhere.
Cam Coleman,
Right.
and he's
For
not going
sure.
to come to
Yeah.
us. It won't be us.
I mean, could.
Unfortunately, it'd be like Texas or something
He-
because that's
he
what they
could.
do. But
I mean, or they could end up, picking apart guys and taking the next Nick Anderson or Bauer Sharp.
yeah,
Mhm.
but like how,
Hey, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
but
Careful
like
you pick
how,
up.
like we're gonna need an experienced running back again for next year
Right.
because at best I think we have
Xavier.
two
Yeah. And Blaylock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
at two, but you're gonna have to you're gonna need more
Right.
that have played in actual games, and we'll be looking for that. We're gonna be looking for an upgraded tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And then you probably need a couple more line, you need a couple more receivers.
The center.
Yep.
He has one more year.
Yeah, right.
But depth.
You need to start getting
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
backup guy because we don't have another center
Yeah, I
on
don't-
the team really.
A true freshman, yeah.
But and the thing is, it's a center. It's not like if it doesn't work out, he can't move left or
Yeah.
right.
And then
so
of course defensively, you're gonna go get
Yeah.
whoever you want to get. Probably. I mean,
that's
'cause
who you probably can.
the better we look,
Anyone you find.
we're progressing to the point where
Yeah.
the defensive portal could be shockingly good,
Yeah.
which is
Even if it's
got to
only,
be worrisome for.
even if it's only 2 or 3 players, it could just be that guy. Like, so I would imagine the biggest threat would be in the mid to lower tier, probably mid tier, because lower tier just doesn't get those guys, even if they're diamonds in the rough. But a mid tier team who stumbles into a Kendall Daniels or whoever and hits the radar, and Nagy, among others, says, "You're an Oklahoma player,"
There
and
could
he
be
goes, "Oh, for Brent Venables, I'm in
There could be 2 or 3 guys on the Oklahoma State right now.
right now." Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, one of their offensive linemen that said he's in the portal.
Yeah.
He's still playing,
Yeah.
but his 4 OU is one of his 4.
Which is not bad from our perspective for a guy to continue to play. especially if he's let's figure things out. Like if he's a
We
superstar,
can still watch
you
it.
might want to put it like lock it down.
Yeah.
But at this point, you're like, get some more experience, get better, and then we'll really come along.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean, just because he's
win-win.
interested doesn't mean you have to offer him.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
at this point, you're one of his four because you're interested in him, and you may have been interested in him out of high school when he went to OSU to begin with.
And maybe he's just close.
Well, it's a negotiation, and you do it both sides. Like,
Proximity could be it.
oh, absolutely. And the family is probably thinking,
Yeah.
move down the road, that'd be great. But in a negotiation, you look at it and say, we got to have our own. When we approach a kid and we really want him, we got to let him know he has alternative. We have alternatives. There are substitutes. And so we don't have to go with you. We have these other players that we could be interested in. So it's monetary as well as just where you're going to land. So you want to have as much of a strong position as you can. So if you've got a big depth of alternatives, that's really strong to go in to say, and you're our guy right now, but we need to know right now. And this is the number. And so he has to decide, well, this is it or nothing. And especially on the defensive side of the ball, that's a position of pure strength for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would say we're probably at a point where defensively we can get players from any team to come. Offensively, I still think we're going to be looking at players that grew and got bigger, faster, stronger at a mid-tier school that
Right.
wants to move up.
Well, and what we got to be careful of is, again, a false positive, which was Jade Knott. And you got to be real careful about those because those are expensive. You can't have too many of those. That was really,
Well,
you're going to have some,
We really missed on that.
but that's amazing. That's an amazing.
That's a
miss.
bad miss.
Yeah, it's a real bad miss. I feel like
Yeah.
Burks hasn't lived up to what we had hoped either.
No, I think he makes a pretty
Yeah.
penny.
And we brought in Andrew Anthony from Michigan, and he looked really good
And
until
then
he
got
got
injured.
hurt. And then after all the medical stuff, and he's at Duke now, and he's having a pretty good season.
But
Brent-
that's telling
You got
too.
Brendan
He
Thompson from
went to
Texas.
Duke. He didn't go to USC or some other
Yeah.
really high profile offense.
So they might
that's
have been
kinda
scared off by the injury.
interesting. It could be
And
true.
we brought in Brendan Thompson from Texas,
Yeah.
and he was just a go deep guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got injured next to last game, I want to say maybe.
He was always kind of banged up.
And then he went to
yeah.
Mississippi State, and he's playing.
playing really
He's,
good.
he's playing really good. Yeah, I mean, I think he's the leading receiver, if I'm not mistaken.
At Mississippi State.
At Mississippi State.
At Mississippi State.
I mean, I got to eat crow on Jeff Levy because he's completely turned that program around. And on year two, even though the record's not amazing, they're competing in the SEC week after week.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
an easy job.
they've lost 3 games this year that came down to like final drives.
Right.
Did they go to overtime against somebody?
Texas.
Was it Texas? Double overtime, maybe.
Yeah, double overtime.
Was it
against
double
Texas.
overtime?
Was it?
Did they both kick field goals and then the touchdown? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember
But,
either.
I mean,
All I remember it was
They had a
pathetic.
huge lead.
Yeah.
They should have not lost.
So, I mean, he's turned that around, but bringing a guy like Brendan Thompson, he wasn't a castaway here, but he wasn't getting to play as much as he
I don't worry
thought
that
he would.
I don't worry that much about that. I don't think that's a big miss though.
No.
I don't think it's a big loss. I mean, in the realm of receivers, like if that was a Branch or somebody, I'd feel differently about it. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's
I mean,
that
I thought
guy.
Nick Anderson was going to be like a second round pick,
Yeah.
and he was not used at all at LSU, and then now he's injured for the season.
And that was car wreck though, right? So
No, he
wasn't
he just broke his.
Was he?
What did he do last week?
who was in
I don't know
oh
what happened to him last week. I just saw he was out for the season.
Yeah, he injured himself last week.
Oh, in
But
the
he didn't
game.
in the
okay.
game.
Wasn't he in a car wreck
Yeah,
early in the season?
off-season.
Yeah.
In the offseason going into this year. So
Right.
he didn't play the first couple games because of that. And then he just never didn't make the starting lineup and barely played. I mean, I want to say, what do you have? Like, there was a stat.
Oh, it was
He made like
insane.
$500,000 per catch or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
it was-
He had like 4 catches or
Yeah.
something.
So you can't have those misses. No one can have them. But if you're a Mississippi State or an Oklahoma State, you really can't have them financially. But for OU, you can't have them if you're trying to reach your goals.
Yeah.
It's going to stop you from reaching your goals if you have too many of those. So, yeah.
I mean, Ott
Burks
might
is
be the
a
worst
problem.
transfer in the country at this
Oh.
point.
He is.
for-
And Nick Anderson was up. Two of the players on the list because I don't know On3 put one out last
Yeah,
week, and
my biggest
they were on
on their
there.
transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very frustrating. And
By far. I mean, we have 8 carries this year or something. Who knows? I mean, it's shocking. You also wonder does he get all the money? How is it structured? How is it?
Well, with NIL, you're not allowed to have it performance based.
No, but it could
But it could
be.
be play, it could be longevity.
It's
I don't know. If you're smart, you figure out a way to structure that so it's as close to performance based as it can be.
Yeah.
At least
But it literally can't be like you
Pay
have
for
to
play.
play 8 games
N-
or you don't get
uh,
it. That
I don't know
that's
about
considered
that. I know it
performance-based.
I know it can't. I think performance would be more like
In the NIL rules,
production.
it can't be like that.
By play or by performance.
Yeah, or by
By playing like there's
games
no.
played. I mean, he hasn't even played in games.
Well, it needs to be.
I mean, there's no
It needs
incentive.
to,
It can't be incentive based at all.
What's really surprising is
but
the
games
fact that
played isn't
in the
necessarily
rules,
incentive.
it wasn't.
It incentivize you to play a game.
It was a consensus big time gift,
Yeah.
Yep.
like from everybody.
Well, it was because at running back we had good running backs, but nobody had his explosiveness and
But
elusiveness.
but that was an evaluation independent of OU.
Right.
That wasn't an evaluation just of how good he
everybody
was.
wanted him. Yeah.
And
But we were looking to fill a hole.
yeah,
We have
sure.
we had a good running back room, and we still do. Me and Jay have been on the Xavier Robinson train since we saw him play at Carl Albert.
Yeah.
And we were wondering last year why he didn't get the ball more, other than pass blocking, because that's always a thing for freshmen. But I mean, the Bama game, he looked really good. He had like 130 yards or something
Yeah.
at Bama, and we were like, well, we found our guy. And then literally we didn't play him 3 snaps or some crap like.
He didn't even play in the Navy game.
Yeah.
So circle back to a coach that we have a lot of problems with, which is DeMarco Murray. What is going on? Taylor Tatum. Like I know he's been injured.
He was
but
injured most of the season.
I mean, I guess whatever. Is he?
Xavier was hurt too.
Yeah.
So much so that, I mean, the reporting was that he was potentially going to redshirt this year.
That's what we hear. So I don't know. All of it is just we're into year whatever of the weird rotation, the guys won't see the field, the poison that they feel like a guy contains if he fumbles the ball one time.
Which was good. They put him back in the game.
It was amazing they put him back in the game. I was really scared they weren't going to put him back in the game.
Must have not been able to get.
That was incredible.
That was like a Belichick move. You
Absolutely.
have one fumble, you're not playing. They had a guy, I don't remember even who it was.
It was a knock against Belichick.
Connor could tell us because the guy was on like Sports Illustrated cover because he had like a 4 touchdown game back-to-back weeks or some crap. And then he fumbled in game 3 and he didn't see the field for like 3 games.
And I think that's a mistake. I think it's an overreaction to fumbles.
Yeah.
Fumbles, more so than interceptions, are extremely random. Now, I understand if a guy doesn't protect the ball. And if you're watching his fundamentals and you're saying you don't protect the ball, okay, that's a problem and we need to figure that out. But if it's just a guy who is carrying the ball 25 times a game
and somebody punches it out,
he fumbles.
I mean, a punch out is different than like carrying out the here and just loosey goosey.
Let me go show you how many times we used to fumble the ball. I know we were a running team, but under Switzer. And we didn't bench Billy Sims.
What's so wild about that too is give a receiver 25 catches and semi fumbles they have.
Right, exactly.
A receiver gets 3 or 4 catches a game.
Exactly. And not in a position to fumble because of the way they're catching the ball and where they're running.
Yeah, or it's just there's one guy tackling, maybe 2.
Yeah.
There's not,
it's not in the meat of
all over. Yeah. So if you have a running back that every now and again drops
it's gonna happen. You gotta I think that's the key to good coaching. You see through that and you say, no, this is still our guy. He's still the good legs. This is the guy who sees the hole. Yeah.
25% of the time Farouk ran a sweep or whatever. He fumbled the football.
Sweep or a crossing pattern or whatever.
Look at how many times Jackson Arnold had to fumble the ball before they finally pulled it.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that I think that's
fortunately or unfortunately, it sounds like we only have 2 running backs on the team, so we know who's the rotation's going to be.
Which, I think that's unfortunate because I think we got a lot of talent we're leaving on the table. But all that said, I like the idea of 2 running backs. And when you coalesce towards 2 guys, and I think these 2 guys are really good.
Yeah.
I think Blaylock is going to be very, very good in the future. I think Xavier is really good now, and will continue to be really good. It
definitely needs to be a hot hand situation.
Yeah,
like if Blaylock gets to start, which I can't imagine he gets to start, but if he were to get it, and he's getting 5-6 yards of carry, gets 11 here, 4 over here. Just
you're only
keep doing it.
You're only spelling him.
Yeah.
Just
let him do it.
Helmet.
Right.
As soon as he starts getting stopped or whatever, and then you put in Xavier, and then he starts getting yards, same thing. Keep him in.
Aside from the best running backs ever, and DeMarco was one of them, certain guys are just going to click with different defenses, and you got to go with a hot hand because it's like I don't know what it is, but something about the way they are lining up and you're running the ball is working. Let's keep doing it. You're seeing the hole. You're seeing the way to get there. We're going to keep doing that.
Yep.
You don't have to figure it out. You just have to say it's working. Don't screw with it. It ain't broke. Don't fix it. Just keep going. And
I mean, it could be like
get out of your own way.
shooting 3-pointers in different arenas.
Right.
Some guys see the bucket better because the depth of the way the stands, like the trajectory of the stand.
Yeah.
And if it goes up after row 10, it starts going higher, they can see the goal better. And I feel like running backs against certain, I don't know if it's the jerseys they're wearing or what stadium they're playing in, but sometimes you just see the field better.
I think it may be some of those things, but I think it's a lot about whatever they're doing defensively. And you can see the hole the way you can see the hole.
Personnel too.
And it could be personnel.
Like
it could be the style of running back.
Blaylock is a step faster.
Right.
And so maybe he's getting the edge against Bama.
And that's what's important.
Can't.
Yeah. Or somebody else is breaking that first tackle and he's getting through versus Barnes running into his own.
We haven't seen a lot of running backs running into our offensive linemen.
We haven't.
Yeah. Weird.
It is weird.
And I'm going to say it's not coaching.
I mean, Sawchuk looks like he's running fine at Florida State.
Yeah.
Well, we're speaking of running, and that is a good segue into the trivia for this week. So I've got some trivia for you guys. I'm going to lead it off with some interesting trivia, but it's not the trivia question. So I went back to look at some rushing history. OU is a phenomenal history of rushing the football. Just, second to none in our history of running the ball and everything we accomplished with running the football, innovation in the run. I look back at some eras. I look back at the Bud Wilkinson era, the Barry Switzer era, the Bob Stoops era, the Brent Venables era, then in contrast. And I also looked at some of the others. We'll talk about those in just a second. But looking back at those historic periods of time when OU was extremely successful in football, Bud, Barry, Bob. So some things that would be there's no way you would get it, and I would not have gotten these questions right. Individual rushing yards by era. I looked at everyone with a minimum of 200 carries to say who had the most yards for each of those eras and who had the most yards per rush. Now, I think you would have actually gotten some of these in the closer to the modern era, and definitely in the Bob and the Barry years. Back in, just to say it because it's important, it's our history, it's our legacy. In Bud Wilkinson's time, and I look back at anybody who started or ended their career under these coaches as a head coach. So for Bud Wilkinson, the leading rusher was Jim Grisham, 2,404 yards. And there's a little bit of dispute about how many yards he had, but I went with the Sooner Stats number on that. George Thomas had 2,230. He's the one who started and ended under Bud. Jim started under the guy that went to Maryland after 1 year. Escapes me. And in 1946. Clendon Thomas, who did not end his career under Bud because he was there at the end of his career, but he had 2,199. But the yards per rush, and this is pretty impressive. Leon Heath, 7 yards per rush under Bud Wilkinson.
And these are with 200 carries?
With 200 carries or more. Under Barry Switzer, this is the one you might start to be able to know these things. Do you want to guess who the leading rusher is under including bowl games, which changed it when we started counting the bowl games?
Pruitt.
For total and then yards per rush. You're right on Pruitt. He actually, I believe, I don't know if it's still an NCAA record, 7.6 yards per rush, which is just
Joe Washington?
Incredible. We used to be Joe Washington before we counted the bowl games, and then Billy Sims edged him out, 4,118. And then, but the leading rusher in OU Sooner history is under Bob Stoops in total.
DeMarco, right?
P. Ryan, 4,122.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
And then the most yards per rush. You'll know this one if you think about it. Your man,
Joe
Mixon.
Wow.
6.8. With a lot of competition there for sure. So then this gets to something a little more critical to how well we're rushing the ball in this era, and especially this year where we've struggled to rush the ball, but it seemed to have kind of caught a little bit of
How many plays a
the-
game did they get back in the option days?
not as many as they get today.
Yeah.
Not anywhere close.
What, like 50?
50, I think in the 50s. Yeah.
Well, the clock didn't stop for
didn't
first
stop.
downs
It
back
ran.
then.
No, I think it did.
You think the clock stopped for first
I
downs
think the
in
clock
the
stopped
70s?
for. I think so. Don't hold me to it, but I think the clock stopped. But it was you're running the football, so
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
There's no balls hitting the
There's-
ground for incomplete
for
passes.
incomplete passes
Plus,
to
there's
stop it.
3-4 yards at a time.
And you're taking your time, you're huddling,
Yeah.
you're coming to the line to snap it. There's no hurry up offense only
That's
existed.
why I
in
was
the
trying to
last 2
compare
minutes.
like what rushing yards would be because I know they didn't have as many plays per game, except if you had 50, 48 of them were rushes.
Right,
But
right.
you did have
exactly.
48 rushing plays,
Exactly. Yeah.
and now you only get 30.
So the leading rushers, let's ask this question: leading rusher in the Brent Venables era,
Wow.
In total yards.
total yards, and then yards per rush.
We haven't had any good running backs on the Brent Venables.
I mean, it's
We've had
either
one pretty good.
it's either Eric
He's in the
Gray,
pros.
It's either Eric Gray.
Eric Gray.
It has to be Eric Gray.
1,778.
Well, I thought maybe Barnes had that many.
Barnes
over the
is
years.
second, 1,281. Eric Gray is the most yards per rush, 6.1, and Barnes at 4.4 yards per rush. When you look at the team averages, this is kind of interesting to me. So yards per game, Bud Wilkinson era, 280.8. Barry Switzer era, 343.5 rushing yards per game. Bob Stoops, 180.6. Brent Venables, 176.5. Not too far off
Really?
the Bob Stoops yards rushing per game. Yards per rush, 4.8 Bud, 5.4 for Barry, 4.5 for Bob, 4.4 for Brent. Not too far off with the up and down that we've obviously seen. Okay, so he doesn't have enough carries. He has 101 carries, but Xavier Robinson has 5.6 yards per rush. Where do you think that number would fall, assuming that he continues that average to the 200 carries mark and can qualify? Where in the following regimes would that rank in the Barry Switzer era, and I grouped it together, Gibbs, Schnellenberger, Blake era, Bob Stoops era, and Lincoln Riley era? Where would 5.6 rank in each of those 4 different eras?
Top 3.
Well, obviously in the Lincoln era, he's under Mixon because you said it was like 6.4 or something like that.
6.8, yeah.
6.8. So and P Rhymes was probably higher than 5.4.
Mm-hmm.
So in the Lincoln era, he's Kenny
Kenny
Brooks,
Brooks.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, Brooks was real high.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably like 5th in the Lincoln era.
Kenny Brooks is low key
Close.
one of my favorite running backs in OU history.
He's the most surprising. Like when you look back,
I just
and
love
say,
watching him run.
I
People
totally
used
do
to talk
too.
because I never really watched Joe Washington runs, but people would just say, I love the way he ran and watch him run.
Mm-hmm.
No, Brooks is not flashy like that, but
Right.
he just picked the right place to go.
He was
He wasn't
maybe
exceptionally fast. He was exceptionally strong.
he just was
He
efficient.
just read it so.
He always
well.
read it. He just always like, here I am.
I just love.
I'm gonna get there. Xavier Robinson would be 4th in the Lincoln Riley era. He would be 4th in the Bob Stoops era. He would be 2nd in the Gibbs, Schnelly, Blake era, and he'd be 15th in the Barry Switzer era. It shows you how good we used to run the football.
Wow, some fullback.
How different everything used to be. So,
But in modern times, that's a good. If
it's
you
a
can keep
good
that
number.
clip up, that's
If you can keep that clip up. What
the
surprised
problem
me
is
the
that he gets
most,
9 carries a game.
yeah, it's got to be more carries per game.
Yeah.
What surprised me the most was how close, even though there's some distance there, but 176, call it 177 rounded versus 181 for Bob. That's really close, within 5 yards per game.
That's shocking.
In rushing the football. It's crazy.
Considering what running backs Bob had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and how well we ran the ball.
Quentin Griffin, Peterson, DeMarco. I mean,
I bet if you went and matched that up, Bob Stoops' offenses had running and passing that coincided really nicely together.
yeah.
Brent Venables is one or the other in almost every case. Like there's very few where both of them came together.
Yeah. Some of those Bob games, you'd have 550 yards total, and it'd be like 325 and 225 or something like that, you know.
Yep. And
And then last year we couldn't throw 7 alive.
right.
So it was all running.
It was all running. Yeah.
Yep.
Very, I know. Very interesting, I thought,
Yeah.
in that. Well, do you have a prop bet for us, Jay?
Yes, I do. So I'd heard that Bama was pretty good on third downs. So I figured I'd try and find something that had to do with that.
Okay.
Okay, so Alabama is ranked 18th in the country in third down conversions as an offense at 48%, which is
Strong.
pretty high.
Really high. Seems really high.
Conversely, OU is 8th defensively, allowing only 30%.
Something's got to give.
So let's put an over under. Do we hold Bama to 39 and a half?
Let's call it 39.
39.
Over under 39%. Conversion on third down. Fourth down is immaterial.
They're at 48. We're only allowing 30. So basically right there in the middle.
Now, there are ways that we hold them to 5% and we lose the ball game spectacularly.
Yes.
There are ways that we hold them to 70% and we win the ball game. So
they might not ever even get to third
down. It might be a bunch of second down.
But
yeah,
we could. It most likely this will be a critical stat. This will be a critical factor in a close game. If you win the ball, if you can win the third downs this way, you have a great chance of winning the ball game. At least on that.
Why are you going 39 instead of 39 and a half?
Well, first one, 39 and a half, whatever.
I mean,
is that going to change your number?
I'm asking like what's.
Well, I mean,
39 is dead center, right?
We almost always do halves that way.
39 is right in the middle.
But half isn't going to matter on a percent.
Why?
What if it's 39.2, then you lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm going to go under.
You watch, it'll be exactly 39. I'm pissed. I'm going to have to put a push into the spreadsheet. You're going to go under?
Let me go under.
Okay.
Man, I feel like I'm shocked that there's 17 teams ahead of them.
I mean, if you go 4 of 17, what's that percentage come up to?
Well, 4 of 10 is 40.
Yeah. So
Right.
4 of 17 is pretty low.
I like that.
I like that too. Can we lock that in?
I'm gonna go over. That's really.
I'm gonna go under. I really believe in our defense. I really believe that
I'm still PTSD with third downs.
they got a
Ole Miss got us on third downs quite often. If we could have got off the field on third down against Ole Miss,
what was the conversion in Ole Miss?
I don't know, but it felt like every third down we picked it up. To me,
So had a quarterback that could run for that.
this guy can too.
Oh, he's not going to beat us with his feet.
No, he's.
I mean,
if
it's 3rd and 7 and everybody's covered, he may be able to get.
He can.
He can get first
No, he can move.
He's not moving like
Shambly.
shambles.
I think he moves almost as good. He just doesn't. It's just not his game.
Yeah.
Kind of like Arch. It's like Arch when he takes off. Better than it is.
Isn't that great, right? Ole Miss converted 9 of 31 third downs.
That's crazy. They must have been third and longs.
9 of 21.
Oh,
Did I say
okay.
20? Yeah, 9 of 21.
So that's right at 45%
45%
or something, right?
That's 42.9. And so
That's what I was thinking.
it's a great
I think Ole
stat.
Miss's offense is better than Bama's personally.
It's a great prop bet.
I think Lane's a
might
better
be.
offensive coordinator than
Grub.
Grubb.
I bet they're comp. Yeah. Well, statistically, they're better.
I mean, it
For
literally could be 1 third down difference between over the number and under the number.
Oh yeah, definitely so. So Connor chose under. Does that concur with what he sent you? Did he change it? Okay. And I'm going to take under. So we're 3-1 on this one, where I'm not the odd man out, fortunately.
How'd it turn out last week?
We covered that a minute ago. They said I like I said, it's a very important statistic. It's not a deterministic.
It's interesting because it could, right? It's all just depends on
Yeah.
the scenario,
The composition of how the
Yeah.
context of how it
Yeah.
all unfolds.
where it's at on the field, and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
It's not a lock. It's not a lock.
Yeah.
But I tell you what is a lock. The locks of the week.
The Realist Deal Locks of the Week.
And the locks of the week this week are going to be interesting because, well, they're always interesting, but we have got some guys that need to get some wins. Last week I was 2-1. Lucas was 2-1. Jay was 2-1. This guy listed as Connor, he's not here. He was 1-2. So we were 7-5 last week. The listener was 1-2. So Connor, like the listener, not present. Listeners.
Our first ever duel.
That's right.
Pickup.
Yeah. So like the listeners, not present and not winning. 1-2. For the season, I'm 15-18. Connor's 12-20-1. Now here are the upsides. Lucas is 18-15. Jay is 19-14. As a team, we're 64-67-1. The listeners,
Connor dragging us down.
the listeners as a team, 10-23. So Connor's beating the listeners, but that's it. Well, let's start with Connors. We're picking on him. Let's continue to pick on him. Give me a reading on this pick because I struggled with mine. I had it narrowed down to like 6 games, and I let an undue influence of you guys making fun of my choices steer me away from some games that I swear to God, if those win, I'm going to be pissed. Connor's first one is Old Dominion giving 11 to Troy.
Are they playing right now? Seems like a Wednesday night game.
I don't know. That'd be something. He definitely sent that early before a game started.
I'll check
But
that
check and see. He's got Cincinnati giving 5.5 to Arizona, and he's got OU getting 6 against Alabama.
Troy and Old Dominion's a tomorrow night game.
Okay.
Thursday. Well, for the listeners that listen right off the bat, it'll be tonight.
Right. Tonight. Yeah.
Thursday night.
Yeah. So get your bets in, guys. 11.
Old Dominion. Well, it's 12.5 currently. That's a huge difference between what he gave you.
Oh, wow.
I think that's some shady picking there.
Is that across the board? Are you looking at Vegas Insider?
I'm on ESPN. And it's 12.
They're usually not that different.
12.5.
Come on, Connor. What are you doing here, man?
I think he's trying to pull one over on us to try to get some of those numbers back to you so far.
We'll take a vote later if we're going to give him the 11 or if we're going to make
I think we could go 11.5 or 12. Well, 11 for it needs to be a half number. So let's go 11.5.
Connor, you're getting 11.5.
And that's still
that's generous.
Yeah, that's generous.
Generous. You better hope that the Old Dominion trucking lines are able to win by 2 touchdowns.
35-24 incoming.
Come on.
And he's going to be like, that's BS. I gave that line at 11.
Well, you should have been here to advocate.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So jumping back up in the list to me, here I go. I'm, just got done bad mouthing them. I got Indiana giving 29.5 against Wisconsin. Wisconsin sucks. They are not good at football. What is going on with Luke Fickell? I look back at their scores this year. They are pathetic.
They suck all the way around.
They suck
offense and defense.
All over.
That's a firing I'm surprised.
Yeah, I haven't
surprised hasn't happened game like 6.
That's a good point.
Or 7.
I mean, at this point,
you got all these other teams, Florida, LSU, Arkansas, that are just getting rid of dudes left and right, and Wisconsin's holding on to him. He's failed miserably when we all thought,
right?
We all thought coming from Cincinnati that was a great hire.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing.
Hell, there was conversation he was going to come that we would want him.
Yeah.
And that he jumped and got that job, and did we get disappointed?
Yeah.
I don't know. Surely he gets fired though, right?
What's the record?
3-6. Maybe?
Yeah, 3-6, and the 3 aren't good.
It'll say on the sheet here.
If it's on the sheet, I don't know if it's one of those on the sheet. I don't think it is actually.
It's sheet. So
not on the sheet.
I don't know.
Regardless
we got 2 Tuesdays
of it,
on the sheet, which is weird. I'll take Kent State. That's 5.5. I don't remember I didn't see how that game finished last night.
3-6 for Indiana, and pulling up their schedule now, they are so their wins are against Miami of Ohio, Middle Tennessee State, and
Kent State won by 7 last night, by the way.
Who else did they beat?
Helping our strength of schedule.
Washington by 3.
They beat Washington.
They beat Washington
Interesting.
last week, by 3. So maybe they're turning it all around. I wouldn't be heartbroken to see Indiana lose, although it probably helps OU in their playoff hopes if Indiana goes ahead and win, and we just have 2 teams in the Big Ten. Moving right along, Louisville.
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 As opposed
Going
to-
through this.
As
Louisville.
opposed to Jay's Louisville.
I like Louisville giving 2.5 to Clemson. And I like Marshall giving 7.5 to Georgia State.
Service pick.
That's what I do. All right, Lucas, what you got?
I have Louisville
Who?
2.5 against Clemson. Is that the line that you had?
Yep.
Okay. I have Cincy minus 6.5 against Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the mighty.
Wait. No, it's 5.5. Connor had 5.5. Do you?
Connor's got 5.5.
Is he BSing on that one
I
too?
mean, the current line was 6.5. If he was, I mean,
No. Cincinnati's playing Arizona.
Arizona
he said.
State.
Arizona.
Oh, it's Arizona? Well, hell, I like that even better then.
God damn, we all 3 of us can't pick Cincinnati. I gotta.
So we going with 5.5?
Look it up. See, I see 6.5 as well.
I don't have scores now.
I had 6.5 on ESPN before the pod started.
Yeah.
We're going 6.5, Connor. Sorry, buddy. Nice
It's-
try, man.
I mean, if somebody on scores and odds has got it for 5.5, then I'll gladly take 5.5.
Go to Vegas Insider if you can find
My
it.
hands are full.
I'll give it to you.
And then I will take the mighty Georgia Bulldogs to
Mm.
beat University of Texas
That's not bad.
by 5.5.
See, I see 6. on
Georgia
that one.
minus 5.5.
That one, okay. That one, I'll grant the
That's the
listener on.
current listener.
I'm seeing ahead. That one is, I think, if you pull it up, I think there's some at 5.5 and some at 6. So I'm willing to let someone do an arbitrage on that one. If you can do an arbitrage on, well, Cincinnati's not, everybody's taking Cincinnati.
That's a night game, correct? I currently have 5.5 on ESPN as of 9:47 p.m. Wednesday.
Look at
For Cincy?
No,
for Georgia.
Oh.
Georgia.
Well, I'm gonna look at Vegas Insider to see if
That
there
says
is
it opened at 6.5, but it is currently 5.5.
that's a night game.
That's a night game. That is 6:30.
6:30 in the evening. See, I see 6 and 5.5. So I'll allow an arbitrage on that one. Now, Cincinnati. When does Cincinnati play? Did you say that was a Friday night game?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Of course, I was mistaken because I thought it was Arizona State instead of Arizona.
Yeah, that was okay.
Which, like I said,
Cincinnati.
I like-
Okay, I see 6 and 5.5. I don't see any 6.5.
I got 6.5 on ESPN right now.
ESPN uses MGM, don't they?
No, they've used they actually just dumped Penn and have gone with DraftKings,
Well-
but I don't know if that's
DraftKings is
Happened.
at 6.
but you had a 5.5 on there?
What is this one? Hard Rock. I don't know if that counts. It's on the sheet. I mean, it's on the Vegas Insider. It opened at 5.5. I think 6 is a fair number.
For
We're
Cincy?
Cincinnati.
Okay. That opens us up to pushes. But okay.
Well, that's Connor's the king of the push.
As evidenced by his 4 kids.
All right.
I'm fine in the third game because I don't want 3 of us to be on Cincinnati.
Oh, come on. I'm giving you a half point. Well, while you're looking, I'm going to read
our
the
guess.
listener.
Okay.
Joe, thank you, Joe. Listener Joe comes in with Kansas State giving 19.5 to the hapless Oklahoma State Cowboys. That's just a sad story there. And I was considering that one too, because as you know, I've successfully picked against Oklahoma State now, although they did screw me in one of those. He's got Texas getting 6 against Georgia. There's the arbitrage I talked about. And then he's got the University of Alabama Birmingham getting 18.5 against North Texas. Service pick, Joe.
Yeah,
Service
Joe,
pick. Service pick.
No, I mean North Texas that's not a service pick because they're in the news for the record. They're a close team. It's not like Troy and Old Dominion or something
Okay,
like that.
nobody's heard of. All right, or Marshall, Georgia State.
Exactly.
I winners are winners.
We
That's
rode
all I know.
Georgia State last year,
Yeah,
or
we
the year
did.
before.
Yeah,
quite
something
a
like
bit.
that. Yeah,
I
our
did.
first year in. Yeah,
I did, and they killed it.
Gosh, I'm having a hard time.
don't
finding
pick
the right
another one. Go with it. You're gonna regret it when they win with it.
No, no. I'm gonna be happy when they lose with it and I win with my
Other pick.
other pick.
He's trying to create some separation between me and him because it's been one game for the last 3 weeks now. I think.
Oh, you're right.
Oh God. Okay, Steve, read my other two.
All right. Jay has Georgia Tech giving 16.5 to Boston College. And then he's got Duke giving 24.5 to Virginia.
No.
All right, he's got Duke giving 4.5 to Virginia, which
That line screams, "What in the hell, Vegas?"
Yes, that's why I'm going with it.
Yep, that's
I-
probably the right play.
I think it is too. I'm telling you, Virginia is fool's gold. They're no good. If you saw the SEC shorts, they were hilarious and threw a little shot at Virginia. I think
It's
that
for
they
lovers.
flame out. Yeah,
Did you know
well,
Virginia was for lovers?
I heard that once. I read it on a license plate.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
Sure.
I don't like this number,
Okay,
but
great.
But this is my pick.
yes. I'm gonna go
It's gonna be a miracle if I get all this right and when I post
Yes.
it. But
Ole
Can't wait
Miss
for Connor to complain.
Ole
of
Miss.
all these
minus
changes.
14.5 versus Florida.
Ole Miss minus 14.5
Yeah.
against Florida.
And
Mm.
I'm going with it.
Is that at Ole
It's
Miss?
at Ole Miss.
Okay.
I'm going with it just because I think Lane Kiffin is going to try and
Run it up.
destroy the team he's about to go coach.
Mm.
Well, let's talk about that since that concludes our locks of the week. Because I think one of us thinks very strongly he's not going anywhere. And I've detected some Lane Kiffin love affair in the X direct message shares that we've been getting out of one member of the podcast. You've sent so many Lane Kiffin this and that. It's like, what's going on here?
Because he runs a press conference like I would. He
Was it
says,
it's on the field when the kid proposed and you
"Oh, I thought that was hilarious."
It was pretty funny.
He just ran over there and took pictures with him, and they were just like, "Oh my God, Lane Kiffin's taking pictures."
I do like his style. I
But-
like his style.
I mean, it didn't work at USC. It didn't work at Tennessee. It didn't work at the Raiders.
He kind of worked at Florida Atlantic for what it's worth.
But his orneriness, I guess you could call it, and his satirical nature, I really appreciate because that's how I feel like if I was a coach,
Yeah.
that's the kind of attitude I would have. And when they bring up, when Brent Venables, we didn't talk about that when he did the post game when he said that
The better team.
the better team, whatever, da 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 da. But I think Brent meant that going into the game, he thought we were the better team,
right.
and all the media and
Latched
even Lane
onto it the
latched
wrong
onto
way.
it, and Lane seemed
Yeah.
to think that he was talking about after watching the film after the game that we were the better
Right.
team, which we obviously were not that night.
That night. Yes.
So him saying, I guess they were the better team when I was at USC and we destroyed them, and they were the better team when
At Alabama? Was it was he there? What was the other one?
there was another instance that he meant, but I can't remember.
One Florida Atlantic when we beat the
I
crap
can't
out of
remember what it was, but just that orneriness, I think, is
Yeah.
how, and
I
a
look at him-
little bit of pettiness. I think
Yeah.
that's how I would be.
I look
That's
at
how I
him-
am.
Yeah, how I would be petty. Yeah. I look at him as someone who has matured but not lost his fire
In his persona.
in his persona.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is loose. His give a shit factor has gone in his favor to where he's like, I don't care. And I know it. He's figured out what does and doesn't matter.
And I think that's why he stays at Ole Miss.
Okay,
I
so
think they adore him there because he's turned their program around. And I think he knows that he won't be able to do that with the boosters at an LSU or a Florida. And those schools expect, 10-2 every year and deep championship runs. And he's turning Ole Miss into that, but they're still not there with their fans necessarily. And that he's got a longer leash that if things do turn south, that he can ride it out an extra year or two at Ole Miss.
oh
than he
yeah,
would be
he's built a
somewhere else.
lot of equity.
Yes. And I don't
I'll say
know
he-
why you would leave.
I'll say he stays because his son just got promoted to starting varsity quarterback. So
In high school, yeah.
I think that he, as these things have happened, where he is leaning into Mississippi the way he is, where he goes and can, like we saw him at the conclusion of our game. Not that a coach wouldn't do that or shouldn't do that, but he was really in the mix of all his players and fans celebrating. He goes and does the thing, the video clip that you showed about, going and make the cameo with the kid who proposed. It's all this kind of stuff that it's either he's completely tone deaf, which could be, or he is so deep into Ole Miss that he is just deciding this is it for me. Or there could be a degree of sabotage. He's sabotaging himself.
He's still young too. I mean,
Oh yeah,
what is he, 50?
probably about that.
I mean,
yeah.
he's not like an old crotchety guy. And
No.
He's not a young upstart.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, I just think I don't know that he'll be there another 10 years and retire at Ole Miss or anything, but I just think that he's got it made right now.
I think so too.
And,
So
and why give that up?
I agree.
It's like when Bob was here,
Right.
they kept throwing job offers at him and he just
But he was real
He loved
close to taking him. He got further away at every next one.
yeah.
And I think that was smart. I think that
he's
in
50 exactly.
the first two big offers that came Bob's way, he was very smart, but he shouldn't have even had to think about it as long as he did. So the Cleveland Browns tried to get him right after we won the national championship. And that was a very wise move not to make that jump, especially to an organization like that.
And that was their second year.
Second year.
I mean, it was the Cleveland Browns' second year, right? Didn't they come back in 99?
Oh, did they come back at the same time that, okay.
99
coincided with it?
Yeah,
Wow.
Tim Couch was their
Wow.
first draft pick in the 99.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So they were, I mean, essentially an upstart franchise
Right.
at that point.
Well, and that would be going home.
And then the second job
to a
was
degree. And the
Florida.
second job was Florida that he really, really, really apparently thought about very hard. But I think
I
that
think a lot of that was Spurrier in his ear and, going back to a place that he really loved and the golf and
well, I think
all
it
that
was,
kind of stuff.
here's where I come from thinking about Lane Kiffin as a parallel. You've got all this equity. You're the golden child here, especially at Oklahoma, more so than Lane is at Mississippi, having won the national championship
Yeah.
and brought us back from the peril. There's no reason to go risk it and go to Florida. It's like so much downside and very little upside where you have all that upside here. I look at that very similarly to Lane in his position. Now, guys consistently go against that are like this. They make the jump that you're like scratching your head and saying, are you not analyzing the situation?
What do you mean, like if you go to USC?
What are you looking at? Yeah,
from
exactly.
Oklahoma?
Exactly. So he could do it, but I've moved from thinking he definitely will go to Florida to I don't think he will, because if anything, like he's gonna break some hearts if he does. Like he's almost teasing them. He's leading them on with I'm here, I'm a part of this, I'm doing all these things. I'm putting myself
He
front and
said too
center.
much.
He said too much.
Yeah.
So I'd be real surprised if he does at this point.
Because then he's a huge villain.
He is a huge villain.
It's not like Kerry, I'm not taking the LSU job.
Right.
And then going to USC.
Yeah. So, and again, into a situation very similar where you're dealing with a lot of donors, a lot of high expectations. Can you win? Different than USC, where USC has got its own headwinds. Florida has headwinds. They play in the SEC. How much better can you be at Florida than you can be at Mississippi with what you've built? Now, they would have more resources to work with.
Yeah.
And so if he's looking at it from that standpoint, that's the one critical thing that could move the needle towards going.
And easier recruiting.
If he looks and says, this is a great place, I've got all this going for me, but there's a ceiling, and the Mississippi ceiling is below where I can take a program, and I want to go to the next level. If it were Mississippi in a lower conference, it's a sure thing that he stays.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's
But
the
at
only
this job,
factor.
it's not lateral to go from Mississippi to Florida, but it's not a huge jump.
It's not a huge jump.
And the downsides are more at Florida.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, and do the math on the expected value of your future salary. Like even if you said Florida can pay me more, that Florida job might only be there for 2 or 3 years, whereas Mississippi could be there for 5 or 6.
And no state income tax.
Well, true, but you could
And soon to be no federal.
It's gonna be a long.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just tariffs. if he
He's waiting for that $2,000 rebate check.
Yeah, yeah. The tariffs would have to be like 600% with no changes in consumption, but economics aside. I think that if he's looking at it rationally again, he's thinking, I can I can retire here at Mississippi. Whereas Florida might fire me before I get a chance to even accomplish what I am capable of accomplishing. And a season like this has got to prove to him he can win.
Yeah,
He
I
can
mean, if he busts off
in a 12-team playoff world, he can win.
if he busts off, 2 8-4s and a 7-5, then Ole Miss might start, reading around, seeing if they think
Because
they can do
they
better.
haven't
But
gotten in yet, right?
Florida, you couple
Right.
7 and
Ole Miss
5s,
has never.
they're gone.
No, I mean Ole Miss has
Ever.
never made a playoff.
No.
They probably should have
Should have
been
last
in
year.
last year, but it
They were
almost
9-3 last year.
it almost looks like they're a shoe in to get in this year.
Yeah, they have to screw it up, especially with the schedule they have left,
Yeah,
which is
I don't know what they have left
nobody.
besides
It's
they
nobody.
have like
the egg-
Citadel and Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
Or
much.
something like that.
It's very soft. Maybe one other, I can't remember.
Yeah.
that'll be a
Um,
damn hard
it's-
place to play in a playoff game.
It
They host a playoff.
yeah, and boy, they're gonna love
Well,
that.
it sounds like that their atmosphere at the Grove is incredible, but in the stadium isn't that crazy.
Yeah, but your first
Obviously,
ever
a playoff
playoff
game
game.
will be.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
in general, you hear a lot of that people, not that they were disappointed, but that they didn't think it was a tough place to play. So they have Florida
Florida
this
yeah.
weekend
Yeah, yeah,
and then Mississippi State. Oh, they played Citadel last week.
right.
So they've only got they've got Florida this week and then a bye
Bye.
before Mississippi
Yeah,
State
that's right.
in Starkville.
yeah. No, that's not a. It's
not a guarantee.
I
Absolutely.
mean, they may finish 11-1 and miss the SEC championship.
Which might be golden.
Yeah,
Miss it.
yeah. Because if
Walk
A&M
into hosting the
if
game.
A&M loses one game and Bama loses one game, I think the tiebreakers still end up with A&M and Bama in the
and you're looking at
in the SEC title game.
a good loss for OU.
Yeah.
A
So
game that we had a lead in the fourth quarter.
yeah. Do you think that if we make the playoff, we rematch a team we've already played? I don't mean necessarily initially,
I would.
but
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I mean it'd be
It-
almost
it's
inevitable.
possible if
wouldn't
you
it?
get 4 or 5
Yeah.
SEC title or SEC teams in the playoff, that there's a good chance that you would.
Yeah, because your
Base-
teams that are
I mean
likely
Texas,
Are-
Bama, Ole Miss.
A&M, no. Texas, yes. Alabama, yes. Ole Miss, yes.
Georgia, no.
Georgia, no.
So yeah,
Yeah,
there's a good chance.
There's a
Or
good
Texas.
chance.
And you don't know that Michigan
You
doesn't
say
get it,
Texas?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so
right? You
What-
don't know Michigan doesn't make it.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Oh yeah, I didn't
And
even
Michigan,
think about that.
Michigan runs the table with the Ohio State victory.
They're in.
They're 10-2. They're in.
Yeah.
So, which I would love all around if
I'd
they,
love to
if
play
they could do
Michigan
that.
again. Their offense is better than they were. So
Oh,
Underwood's got some.
we match up
experience,
nice.
but we do match up well against them.
Thinking back to the SEC though, and again, this might all of a sudden, newly born SEC homer. I want to see the SEC dominate the playoffs, and I do so not just because it's my conference that my team's in now, but I really think they're the best football. As I was saying before, when I looked at the others, I want the rest of the nation to see it front and center. Like I was disappointed last year when Tennessee laid an egg against Ohio State. I was disappointed to see us not have a team in the championship, even though I definitely there's several
Texas
teams I
Tech.
didn't want in there. But I want to see the SEC have a great showing in the playoff, and I think that's in OU's long-term future, best interest.
My problem with that is the other teams that do make it in, for the most part, are also really good at the football teams at the top of their conference.
Sure,
So it's not really.
it's not a fair
It's
comparison,
not a comparison of the depth of the league.
right? You're never going to see that.
And we don't get to see it as much anymore either with
bowl
how
games.
unimportant the bowl games are.
And how mismatched the bowl games are.
Yeah.
Like one way or the other. It just
Well, and the amount of transfers now and the sitting out,
Sit
for the
outs.
NFL stuff. I mean,
I think it's almost impossible to predict and make a bet on those bowl games outside of the playoffs. Who's to say what
Yeah.
you're looking at? You have no data on the guys actually taking
when
the
you do the
field.
ESPN Bowl matchup thing, it's
Yeah.
so hard because
I know.
outside of like the group of 5 teams that you
Right.
know are those guys are playing their hearts out because they
Right.
want to win a bowl game.
Right.
You get some of the upper tier guys that are pissed that they didn't make a playoff, and then you got guys that are going to transfer. And
That's almost like is
it's
that the
hard to
hacker
predict.
move? Is to go in and pick all the group of 5s to cover the spread, and you're going to win like 65% of the games because
Yeah.
they're the
No,
ones who
you
care.
probably do need to look at the teams
Yeah.
who aren't having players leave.
Yeah.
And that it's important still.
It's a whole new analysis. It's everything is out the window. Start over, blank slate.
And then
in the deal.
coaches, the coaching carousels, 50% of the bowl games aren't going to have their coach anymore.
Jim Tatum just came to me. That's the guy who coached before for 1946, brought Wilkinson with him, and then went back to Georgia to coach. Well, that leaves us with just one thing. Let's make a prediction on the score for the OU Alabama game. You guys got your numbers?
No.
Yep.
All right, Jay, we'll wait.
Go ahead.
You've only had hours.
I have a couple of scores, and then I gotta see what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I think you're going to pick based on what we say, and I'm not going to let you do that this time.
Okay, 10 seconds, and I'll go first. Give me some
1,
Jeopardy music.
2.
No, we're not doing that. I'm going Alabama 28, Oklahoma 23.
Interesting score. 2 field goals there.
Nope.
Oh, 3 field goals there.
3 field goals, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Against 4 touchdowns.
Interesting.
Sandell with some more bombs.
I can totally do that score. That's a very legitimate score. It's the under on the over under. The total is like 56.5. So that's interesting.
No, it's like,
isn't it?
45 and a half.
I don't think so. I think it's like 56. It's pretty high.
I'll go 24-20 Bama.
24-20 Bama.
I mean, I guess it could be depending on which line you're looking at, but
Yeah, Connor has 100 points on that.
This is probably the first time I've picked OU to lose back-to-back games.
let's see.
I hope you have the same
Oklahoma,
result.
Alabama total is 45 and a half.
Oh, it is 45. Okay.
Yeah. Which I didn't take into account when I said 28, 23.
No, I don't know what game I was thinking of when I said 56.5.
OU's plus 165 on the money line.
I'm going to do mine last. Connor has 34-28 Sooners to win. I think he's a little high on both scores.
We only scored in the 30s once.
That's the kind of thing, though, a game like this, and all of a sudden you start, and not only can scores surprise you by being higher than you think they're going to be, what if we're in a tight game and there's overtime? Start factoring in those, how many 2-point conversions. He had it at 14-14 in regulation. I can't win by 4. So, I've got the Sooners winning 31-24, winning by a clean touchdown. They have a ice it with a kick by Sandell. He's going to come out in a thong, and he's going to kick a beautiful 67-yarder to ice it. He's going to moon the Alabama sideline, and the Sooners are going to roll to a big-time victory. Well, it's going to be a fun, exciting game. I just hope we have a good showing. I hate to say that. I hate to be kind of pessimistic that way, but fortunately we're in a position where you can say that and still a lot of stuff is in front of you. Obviously, if we win, we're in the driver's seat, controlling our own destiny for the playoff. If we lose, but lose closely, look good showing, I still think we're in really good shape. We're just going to need a little bit of help. Any other closing thoughts from you guys?
Nope. Looking forward to a good game.
I'm looking forward to a good game too.
And hopefully the game we watch after will be even that much more beautiful because we have a victory.
Texas, Georgia. Yeah.
Texas, Georgia.
Malakaleli.
It'd be a lot more fun to watch that game after a
I
W.
think our
It's going to be beautiful.
should have been, does Connor make the post-game podcast?
I'll take that under.
Or do I stay awake?
Yeah, that's the real golden moment. If you can stay awake and he's here to witness it, that'd be something.
That'd be the first time all season those two things have happened.
Real diamond in the rough. Well, we'll be here regardless. Boomer.
Sooner.